Canon did an oopsie, and now it's got me thinking, why should I stay with them? My name is Brandon, and I'm gonna be your host for today's roast. What's going on, guys? So today I'm trying to use a lav mic to see if it makes my audio any better, and I lost the clip for my mic, so I'm using one of those clips for potato chip bags when you're trying to seal them up. So please don't judge me. So if you watch one of my earlier videos, you'll know that I'm thinking about trying to upgrade my camera. I can link that up above. But basically what I was saying was I really wanted to upgrade and I really wanted to stay, in the Canon line. But now Canon just released news of their new EOS. Pretty sure it's EOS, not EOS. So their new EOS RP camera, which is a full frame mirrorless camera, and everyone is just hating on it. They're just like ripping it apart. And so today I wanted to talk about that and just like the company in general and why, because of all these things, I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't stick with Canon. The Canon EOS RP is a full frame mirrorless camera. Like I said, it's supposed to be a kind of entry-level camera. It's supposed to be a step up from the Rebel series, maybe even. It comes in at a little over $1,000. But yeah, it's supposed to be a step down from the EOS R that just came out. Now, everyone loves Canon for their autofocus and their color science, which is a big reason why I want to stay with Canon. But I feel like lately everyone's been hating on Canon because they cripple their cameras when they come out with new ones. They always take features away, unless you buy one of their really nice cameras like the 1DX Mark II, but then you're paying like $6,000 for your camera and you could buy like basically one of their cinema cameras for that. So basically they released the EOS R, and that was supposed to be kind of like the competition for the Sony a7 III mirrorless camera. And a lot of people weren't blown away by this camera, by the specs. It really didn't look that great on paper. But to be honest, I watched a lot of people using it and, looked at the actual footage that it outputted and all that. I kind of actually really liked the EOS R, and a lot of people like it too for vlogging and stuff like that. But this EOS RP, okay, let's talk about that. They really crippled this one. So first and foremost, the big thing everyone's talking about is the fact that it does not shoot 24 frames per second at 1080p, which does not make any sense at all. It's what everything is filmed in for movies, it's what vloggers use, it's what most people use, unless you're shooting in 4K, which still I feel like a lot of people aren't doing on a daily basis because it just takes up so much memory and there's no need really. It's nice to have, but But the thing is, and a lot of people say, just because you have a better camera, it doesn't make you a better filmmaker or photographer. If this is an entry level, there's no point in putting 4K at, whatever, because just because it looks better doesn't make you a better, videographer, You should just give them the 24 that everyone wants at 1080 instead of, trying to max it out to 4K when they don't need it. Also, I should mention that for photography, this camera is probably fine, so you don't really have to listen to all these things because it's mostly the video side that they really crippled this camera with. But yeah, if you're into photography, it's fine. The only problem is, even if you are a photographer, video is becoming a huge thing even for people that just do photography. So, you travel and you do a lot of photos, you still do some video. Also, if you do weddings, if you take photos for weddings, I'm sure at some point you have been asked or will be asked to do video. And if you don't have a camera that can do video, then you're screwed with that too. So video is just becoming a very huge part of the whole photography world. And these cameras, with how technology is expanding, should really be putting more emphasis on the video side of things. Some companies are, and I will get into that in a little bit. But continuing on with this, another thing that people are talking about is how it uses one of Canon's smaller batteries, the ones that it uses in the Rebel series, which I'm using right now. They're saying the battery life is going to be terrible because, you're shooting in 4K, it's a full frame camera. The battery life is just going to be terrible with one of those smaller ones. I mean, in a way it makes sense, if you're upgrading from a Rebel, at least you already have those batteries, but, nobody wants short battery life. Another thing about this camera is that it's 4K, which is great, but when it shoots in 4K, you're getting a crop factor. So basically what it's doing is like you have a 4K camera, cool, okay, and it's full frame, but since there's a crop factor when you shoot in 4K, and you can pretty much only shoot in 4K since they don't have that 1080p at 24, you're gonna be getting cropped image, which means you're basically shooting on a crop lens or a crop sensor camera. What's the point of having this full frame camera if you're gonna be shooting cropped anyway? So even with all of these things that they did to the camera, you know, I understand that it's an entry-level camera, or they want it to be a step down from the EOS R, you know, cut that price so people will buy it. And I understand that Canon's marketed more towards beginners, all of that, but still they just crippled it so much. Like, nobody wants this camera, really. Like, I've not heard anybody say that they're gonna buy this camera and that they want it. It just is too crippled, they're taking too many things away, and it's really hurtful, and it's really opened my eyes, like the whole Canon company and what they do with their cameras. So with all this said, you know, I feel like I should be making like a diss track, you know, about Canon right now with all this trash talking I'm doing. Now, I'm not actually going to make a diss track, but smash like if you want to see me make a diss track. Okay, so moving on from these negative things about this camera, Canon does make great products. They do make great cameras, like the 1DX Mark II. The only thing is it costs so much, like I said before. Along with this announcement with the camera, they also announced a bunch of new RF lenses for, you know, their R series cameras. And these lenses are amazing. And I think they announced like 5 or 6, and they already had, you know, I think 1 or 2 out when they released the R. And these lenses are amazing. But the thing is, it comes at a steep price. And you know, you understand paying for quality and all that. The only problem is, you know, nobody can afford that, that's really wanting to get into it and maybe wanting to make this a serious thing. You know, we can't afford those cameras, and the fact that you're crippling all your other cameras doesn't really give us any room. You're going from, oh, let me buy the nifty 50 that's like $100 or so, and then, oh, well, I want to get a nicer lens. Well, okay, the next one's $2,000 if you want like a quality product, you know? And that's not cool. They're really taking stuff away and doing things different than other companies. And this is why I'm thinking about switching. Sony's packing, like, you know, they don't want to take away features. They just want to keep putting everything they had in the other ones and then adding to it. You know, they want to make the camera better. Nikon's really pushing the envelope. They're trying to get RAW into their video cameras. And then you hook that up to an Atomos Ninja V or 5, I guess. And you know, you're shooting in ProRes RAW. I mean, how awesome is that? Everyone wants that. And to be able to do that on a DSLR, it's amazing. And that's probably gonna start being the standard. So the fact that Canon keeps crippling everything, it's really making it hard to believe in them and believe that they're gonna put out good products. And if they do put out a good products, we're not gonna be able to afford it. So for example, another announcement they made, it said like in-body stabilization. You know, Canon doesn't really do that. They put all their stabilization in their lenses, while most other companies put it in their camera. Well, they announced that they're gonna, in future cameras, maybe start putting in-body stabilization or IBIS inside of their cameras, which is awesome, but you know, we don't know when that's coming, how much they're gonna add to the price for it, you know, what new cameras they're gonna come out with that are even, you know, gonna be good enough to buy, even if it does have, you know, IBIS in it. That's just kind of where I'm at. I'm really disappointed with the company. It seems like Canon is just taking away features every camera they put out, so that way it doesn't compromise another camera that they have so they can keep selling it. That's not cool. Nobody wants that. You're not helping us as filmmakers grow. You're limiting us. And so I just really want to see some good work from you guys coming out, because I really want to believe in you. You know, they're coming out with great lenses, coming out with all these great things, but just not their cameras. They're lacking in their camera bodies, and they really need to catch up with all these other companies. Stop holding back and start putting more into it. Otherwise, those other companies are going to start, you know, surpassing them. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. So I hope you learned a little bit about the EOS RP if you haven't yet. Leave a comment, let me know if you're thinking about switching, or if this news has upset you and made you think, why am I still with Canon? Or why you think I should stay with Canon. Let me know, and I will see you next time.